Day, folks. Good day. I was not supposed to make a video today, but here we are. Okay, here we are. The Spirit of the Lord reminded me of something that has been going on lately with me. Something that's been going on lately with me. So I found myself doing something lately that the Spirit of the Lord has been convicting me about, which is falling into sin um and recycling sin because I saw other Christians do it. Okay? I saw a Christian wear a crop top, so I should wear a crop top. Yet, the Spirit of the Lord has already convicted me not to wear a crop top. This Christian, she is dating. She is dating. She is dating for marriage. She's dating, okay? But the Spirit of the Lord has convicted me to date. But I won't do that because she is dating. The Spirit of the Lord told me not to eat ramen. But this Christian on YouTube or on Instagram, she eats ramen. So I'm gonna eat ramen because she's a Christian. She's eating ramen, and I'm gonna eat ramen, even though God told me not to eat ramen. That has been my predicament lately. I see a so-called Christian. I'm not being judgmental or mean. I'm just saying it. I see a so-called Christian online, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, and I see them do something that I know is wrong. Already as a verse in, I think it's Galatians. Is it Galatians? As a verse in Galatians says, I think it's Galatians. Let me check. As a verse in Galatians says, the Spirit of the Lord convicts you. Still, you are doing. Let me check. Okay, it's not here. I can't remember that verse, which verse it is. Let's leave it at that. But yes, this is the reality of a lot of believers. I know that if it's happening to me, it's happening with a lot of you. Honestly, I just want to say that if you are a true believer, I don't care if you put that in the category of being a hypocrite. You now have a new identity. Even if you have not overgrown it, please and please and please, what you put out there is so important. People are looking at you. Honestly, that is why it's hard. A lot of people that's why God is angry at a lot of Christian content creators, because you are living for yourself and you are putting that kind of imagery out there. Honestly, if you struggle with modesty, please struggle with that behind closed doors. Don't struggle with it out there, okay? Yes. Don't struggle with it out there. If you struggle with modesty or you struggle with any kind of sin, okay? Anything that feels sinful that you're being convicted about, while God is taking you through the step by step to overcome those convictions, please and please try to hide those convictions away from the world. If you are a content creator, you guys just see me here, I just make videos and then I disappeared, and that's how it should be. You guys should not know what I'm doing behind closed doors. And I'm not trying to be hypocritical, but the imagery that we put out there, it's very, very important. Even if we struggle with it, the kind of things we put out there, we should be really careful with it. And so I'm going back into what I was saying. Personal convictions is equals to personal relationship with God. You will personally be convicted because you have a personal relationship with God. It's not a public relationship. And there's this ongoing pattern out there in the world where people indulge themselves in sin because, well, that's all the Christian do is I can do it. But then God tell you not to do it. I remember once I wore a tank top, okay, and I went outside. It was so hot. It was not that hot, but I was so used to always leaving my belly out. So I lifted my tank top up and I left my belly out, and I heard the Spirit of the Lord say, put that cloth down. I assure you. He said that. He said, put that cloth down. And I immediately put it down because it was a scary voice. Romans 12 verse 2 says, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. The renewing of your mind happens through convictions. In case you don't know, convictions happen through the renewing of mind. Convictions equals the renewal of mind, okay? There was a time that you would feel, for example, lately I've been feeling guilty about wasting food. I used to not feel guilty about it, but now I feel guilty about it, about wasting food. Renewal of mind. We are constantly being renewed through the Spirit of the Lord because we are the temple of God. God lives in us, and so He is always gonna have us crucify our flesh because He is trying to make His temple very, very clean. He's always taking out the trash. He is always taking out the trash, and today the trash might be stop dressing immorally. Tomorrow the trash might be stop talking, stop swearing. Next tomorrow the trash that he's taking out might be it might be stop drinking yogurt. I don't know. Personal, could be a personal conviction. I'm glad that's not my personal conviction yet. You better not be. And that is what happened with the whole Frank Forrest and Jerry Lee Rose situation, okay? And Jelly Roll is like, oh, well. And Frank is like, I was just being it literally happens, okay? Look, I am creating content because God has called me to create content. There are times that I just want to wear flashy little outfits, because I'm creating content. And then the Lord is like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Personal convictions. Let me tell you, stop following the world. Stop trying to define the relationship you have with God by following the world. If God tells you don't eat ramen, don't eat ramen. And I can sympathize with a lot of you who are in a place where the personal convictions are coming fast. But I want to just give you a little bit of award. Here's the award. If you're getting personally convicted really fast, like I did, because it's been a year and a month since I become a believer, and the personal convictions are happening so fast. Because I definitely did not expect the whole modesty thing to happen this fast. Because I was talking to a few acquaintances of mine who are believers, and then they're like, oh, well, I was personally convicted to stop dressing immorally 5 years later, 6 years later, and I'm like, oh, well, that's what's going to happen for me. It wasn't even up to the anniversary of the 1 year when God said stop dressing immorally. I've taken out a lot of clothes, or certain clothes. I'm always gonna cardiganize it. Cardiganize it. You can't live for yourself anymore. You have to live for God. You can't live for yourself anymore. You have to live for God. It's not even it's not something that you can help anymore at this point. Like, right? You understand what I'm saying, right? You understand what I'm saying, right? Like, it's not something that you can control. Like, you will feel guilty. Oh, and we could just talk about how guilt is such an overbearing feeling. You will feel guilty every time you do not listen to the Spirit of the Lord. And on this note, I just want to admit that I am being convicted to stop watching a lot of K-dramas, but well, we're gonna get there. But what am I saying? Stop indulging yourself in sin because you see another Christian do it. Where you are growing with God is not where they are going with God. And honestly, A lot of these so-called believers are not believers. They're not real believers. They're just fake believers. It's true. A lot of your favorite Instagrammers, YouTubers, Christian YouTubers, they're not gonna make it to heaven. Yeah, they are fake prophets. A lot of them are fake. But also, I just want to end this video on a note that I'm not saying this as a way to judge them or insult them or give you like a a leeway, a way to be like to insult them. No. But literally, it is true. Where you are at is not where they are at. I literally had the Spirit of the Lord say this to me once. He said, just because I've healed you in this particular area does not mean that they have been healed in that particular area. Now I don't know why they've not been healed in that particular area, but it's not my business. It's not my business, really. My business is to focus on Christ. And that should be a lot of your business is to focus on God. One of the ways that we focus on God is through personal convictions. Our personal convictions help us focus on God. We are called to be a community by God, but God did not say that do what your neighbor does. God did not say that. If people cannot be good exemplaries for you to grow with God, if people cannot be examples following the convictions that God has given you, please and please stay away from those people. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to them and pray for them if you can. But yeah, personal convictions are real. And just because they're not in that area yet, or just because they have refused it, because it's not everybody that is not yet in that area, that is not being renewed. No. In a lot of people's cases, it's that they have refused to listen to the voice of God. And on the end of this note, let me tell you something powerful. Personal convictions is obedience. Personal convictions are obedience. Personal convictions are, it's literally the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of God telling you, stop doing this. Oh yeah, it's deeper than that. Goodbye, guys.